Derpity derp 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 derp.
Optimus Prime with the Cooter Report for the Skeptic Defense Show.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bag me some horn cookers tonight.
Let's see who we got this week.
I ask about a story because it's really getting a lot of attention from our readers on CNN.com. A 10-year-old girl was raped by her stepfather in Paraguay, and the government wouldn't allow her to have an abortion because that's the policy there. The girl, who's now just 11, had the baby. If you're president and you have your druthers, that would be the policy here. Some of your Republican opponents say it's too extreme. What do you say?
I think what we have to do, Dana, is remember that creating one problem that is horrible. I mean, let nobody be misled. A 10-year-old girl being raped is horrible. But does it solve a problem by taking the life of an innocent child? And that's really the issue.
What kind of life does a kid have when his mother is 11 years old? Or, you know, what kind of life are you expecting there? How does that make the 10-year-old or 11-year-old's life better to force them to have a child? Like, you're saying, oh, it's one problem and you're just compounding it with abortion. Bullshit. That is a problem that abortion can easily help alleviate. Being raped is bad. Being forced to have your rapist child as a 10 or 11-year-old is fucking unfathomable. Absolutely terrible. I can't believe there are people out there that, like you, that exist that think, oh no, well, it's just, you're just adding to the problems. Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you. And this example you're about to give here has absolutely nothing to do with an 11-year-old being forced to be the mother of her rapist child.
I know people. I worked for a man for several years, James Robinson, who was the result of a rape. His mother went to 3 doctors in Houston, Texas in 1943, begged doctors to abort the baby. None of them would do it. They all refused. Today, his organization feeds, cares for, living capacity for water to hundreds of thousands of people across the world. That would never have happened, Dana. So when I think about one horror, I also think about the possibilities that exist, and I just don't want to think that somehow we discount a human life.
You know, all those people that are like have serious water shortages, a lot of that has to do with overpopulation because they don't have the option to fucking abort or even any contraception. Because Huckabee is the kind of moron that would want you to have no option for abortion, no option for contraception, and no sexual education or anything. He just wants you to be like abstinence only, and that's the way it is. Because this dipshit thinks that works, as if that one guy had been aborted, nobody out there would be trying to like feed the hungry or give water to the thirsty. And this is also coming from Huckabee, who doesn't, after the kid is born, doesn't want to help in any way. You're just being a welfare queen. How's that 11-year-old going to support the kid? Oh, on the government dime. But he calls that welfare queen shit. He's against that too. Huckabee is just the biggest piece of shit, period.
And that's understandable, but you know, the flip side is looking in the eyes of a 10-year-old girl, saying, you know, you had this horrible thing happen to you and you're going to have to carry it out for the next 9 months. I mean, that's also not easy.
No, it isn't easy, and I wouldn't even pretend that it's anything other than a terrible tragedy. But let's not compound the tragedy by taking yet another life. And I always think we sometimes miss the fact that when an abortion happens, there are 2 victims. One is the child. The other is that birth mother, who often will go through extraordinary guilt years later when she begins to think through what happened with the baby, with her.
That's guilt compounded by people like you, asshole. Like you. You sit there and talk about compounding the problem. Well, they feel guilty because of people like you. You compound that guilt problem, douchebag. You seem to have no problem doing that. You know, for being of a religion that says that, you know, don't judge anyone else lest you judge yourself. You sure do a lot of fucking judging, Huck.
And again, there are no easy answers here. And I realize there are some people that will be very different in their view of this than me, and I respect that. I don't want to get into a shouting match with people who think I'm wrong. I respect that. But I just come down on the side that life is precious. Every life has worth and value. I don't think we discount the intrinsic worth of any human being. And I don't know where else to go with it, but just to be consistent and say, if life matters, and that's a person, then every life matters.
Well, I can tell you where else you can go with it, asshole. Be consistent all the way. Be consistent, and if every life matters, they're all the same, then take care of people the fucking same. This is a person who's against socialism. He's against government handouts, like government programs, food stamps, welfare. He's against all of that. And he's also against contraception and shit like that, or your employer providing you contraception, any of that shit. He was totally okay with the Hobby Lobby ruling, totally not okay with helping to pay to raise a child, but he's also not okay with aborting it. He's he's just fucking you at every chance he can get. And then he says, "Oh, and you're compounding the problem." Fuck you, douchebag. It's for being the biggest dumbass I could find this week that Huckabee wins the Cooter Award for being the dumbest horn kicker I could find. And big thanks to James, or better known as Scope Too Low. He's the Cooter patron, and he requested this video. So if you don't like it, go blame that motherfucker. Until next time.
Cooter!
Derp 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 diddy derp 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 diddy derp 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 diddy derp derp derp.